Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. Today we will discuss the last point of the chapter, that is the uniform circular motion. Dear student, we know that what do you mean by the uniform motion? Uniform motion, if the velocity of an object remains constant with the time, the motion is called the uniform motion. And what do you mean by the circular motion? When the object moves along a closed path, the motion is called the circular motion. So dear student, what is the uniform motion? The uniform motion, if the velocity of an object remains constant with the time, the motion is said to be a uniform motion. And what do you mean by the circular motion? If the object moves along a closed path, the motion is called the circular motion, right? So first of all, uniform circular motion. What do you mean by the uniform circular motion? When an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, then the motion of the object is called the uniform circular motion, right? So understand dear student, definition of the uniform circular motion. When an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, so here remember this, object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, then the motion of the object is called the uniform circular motion. Can you give the example of the uniform circular motion? Yes, example of the uniform circular motion. Motion of the tip of the hands of the clock is a motion is called the uniform circular motion. Motion of the point on the rim of the wheel, right, is also a uniform circular motion, right? So can you give the two more example of the uniform circular motion? So now dear student, consider that suppose an object is moving with the uniform speed v in a circular path of a radius r. Look at this figure, right? When object is moving on a circular path of a radius r with a constant speed, with a uniform speed v, right? Here the speed of the object remains constant throughout the motion of the circular path, right? But the velocity of the object is changes. Now what is the direction of the velocity of the uniform circular motion? So when the object is moving in a circular path, the velocity of the object changes, and the velocity at any point on the circular path is in the direction of the tangent drawn at that point, right? So if we consider this, if we consider at this point, if the object is at that point, right, this point, the velocity is in the direction of the tangent, right? Here the, if the object is at this point, the velocity is in the direction of the tangent, and if the object is at this point, the direction of the velocity is that point. So here we can say that the speed of the object remains constant, but the direction of the velocity is continuously changing. And if the direction of the velocity changes, we can say that the velocity of the object is changes continuously. And if the velocity of the object changes continuously, we can say that the motion of the object is a accelerated motion, right? So the uniform circular motion is a example of the accelerated motion, in that the magnitude of the velocity remains constant throughout the motion, whereas the direction of the velocity is continuously changes, right? And if the direction of the velocity is changes, we can say that the velocity of an object changes with the time, right? So the motion of the uniform circular motion is an example of the accelerated motion. So dear student, how we can find the average acceleration during the uniform circular motion, instantaneous acceleration during the uniform circular motion? Let us see. Suppose consider that the object is moving in a circular path of a radius r. So let us see the figure A, right? So figure A represents the two different position of the object P and P dash, right? And P and P dash of the object moving on a circular path of a radius r. So let us consider that the position of the object is at a point P, and after a certain time the position of the point object is at a point P dash, right? So at any point the tangent drawn at any point gives the velocity of the object. So here in this circular path, if the object is at a point P, the position vector of the point P is a r, and after a certain time instant, right, the object is a point P dash, the position vector of the point P dash is a r dash. Now how we can find the velocity at the point P and velocity of the point P dash? The velocity at the point P is a v, and it is in the direction of the tangent drawn at that point. So here we get the direction of the velocity in this direction at a point P, and the direction of the velocity at point P dash is in the direction of the tangent. So let us consider this position vector r and r dash, and v dash is the velocity vector. So here we get the position vector r at a point P. Point P has a position vector r, and v is the velocity at the point P. R dash is the position vector at a point of a point P dash, and v dash is the velocity at the point P, right? So here the velocity is changes, but the magnitude of the velocity remains constant. And how we can determine the direction of the velocity? The velocity at a point is along the tangent at that point in the direction of the motion. So here the v and v dash as the velocity at a point P, and v dash is the velocity at a point P dash, right? So how we can find the average acceleration during this time interval? So here the velocity is changes from v to v dash, and it is in the direction of the tangent drawn at both the point. So according to the definition of the average acceleration is equal to change in the velocity divided by time interval. Now here the average acceleration is also a vector quantity. So what is the direction of the average acceleration? So here the direction of the average acceleration can be found with the help of the triangular law of the addition. How we can find the triangular law of the addition? So here from the point G, look at this figure, right? So from this point G, draw a first velocity vector v, draw a second velocity vector v dash, and by joining the head of the velocity vector v to the v dash, head of the velocity, we get the delta v, right? So this vector is represent the direction of the change in the velocity, and the average acceleration is the direction of the average acceleration is in the direction of the change in the velocity. And from this triangular law, if you find the direction of the average acceleration, it is in the direction perpendicular to the delta r. So here the direction of the average acceleration is in the direction perpendicular to the delta r and towards the center of the circular path, right? So delta r is the displacement vector. Here the delta r is a displacement vector, and the direction of the change in the velocity, and hence the direction of the average acceleration is in the direction of the perpendicular to the delta r. How we can find? Using a triangular law for the addition. Draw a first vector, draw a second vector. By joining these two vectors, we get the change in the difference between these two vectors, right? So dear student, here the direction of the average acceleration is in the direction of the change in the velocity, and it is perpendicular to the displacement, and that is towards the center of the circle. If you take another figure also, right, if you consider a point P here, right, the velocity vector is in this direction. At the point P dash, we get the velocity vector is in this direction, and if you find the direction of the change in the velocity, it is in the direction of the center, perpendicular to the delta r and towards the center. So this type of the acceleration is called the centripetal acceleration. Understand, dear student? So now understand, dear student, how the direction of the average acceleration is in the direction of the change in velocity, and it is a perpendicular to the displacement vector and towards the center of the circle. So that is us. So that's why this type of the acceleration is called the centripetal acceleration. Now how we can find the instantaneous acceleration? Instantaneous acceleration is the limiting value of the average acceleration, where the time interval delta t tends to 0 is called the instantaneous. So if you reducing a time interval in this between point P and P dash, we get the instantaneous acceleration at a particular point P, right? So here, as we consider the delta t tends to 0, the average acceleration becomes the instantaneous acceleration, and it is directly directed towards the center of the circular. And so this acceleration is called the centripetal acceleration, or we can say that the radial acceleration. Look at this figure C. If you want to find the acceleration at a point P, right? So at a point P, if you draw a tangent, it gives the direction of the velocity at that point, right? So now if you find the acceleration at a point P, it directed towards the center of the circle. So in the uniform circular motion, the direction of the velocity, if the direction of the velocity only changes, the velocity and the acceleration vector are perpendicular to each other. So here the tangent, the velocity vector is in the direction of the tangent and the acceleration vector is towards the center. So this type of the acceleration is called the centripetal acceleration, right? So here at any point on the circular path, the acceleration is in the direction towards the center. The magnitude of the acceleration remains constant and the direction is towards the center of the circular path. So at any point on the, if you consider the point here, right, the direction of the acceleration is towards the center of the circle, right? So magnitude of the centripetal acceleration remains constant, but the direction is continuously changes and it is towards the center of the circular path. So now dear student, we will see how we can derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration, right? The magnitude of the centripetal acceleration, how we can derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration, and what is the formula of the centripetal acceleration. So let us see. The magnitude of the centripetal acceleration A is found with the help of the triangular law, right? So what is the magnitude of the centripetal acceleration? Limit delta t tends to 0, magnitude of the change in the velocity divided by delta t, right? So here delta v by delta t is the change in the velocity divided by time interval, we get the acceleration, and the centripetal acceleration is a limit delta t tends to 0. So now how we can derive the delta v, right? So delta v is equal to, from the similarities of the triangle CPP dash and the triangle GHI. So here the triangle C, look at this triangle CPP dash and GHI, similarities of the triangle you were studied at the standard 10, right? So here from the similarities of the triangle, the ratio of their sides are same. So here delta V divided by delta R, it is equal to GH divided by CP, right? So from these similarities of the triangle, we get a delta V HI divided by PP dash is equal to GH divided by CP, right? If you put the value, HI is equal to magnitude of the delta V, so we put a delta V, right? G delta R, CP, here PP dash, it is equal to delta R is equal to GH is equal to V divided by CP is equal to R, radius of the circular path. So we get from the similarities of the triangle, we get delta V by delta R is equal to V by R, right? We take a delta R on other side, we get delta V by V is equal to delta R by capital R. So from that, delta V is equal to V into delta R by R. So therefore, from this, if you put the value of delta V on this first equation, delta V by delta T, we get A is equal to limit delta T tends to 0, delta V by delta T, right? So instead of this delta V, if you put delta R by R into V into delta R by R, so here we get a centripetal acceleration A is equal to limit delta T tends to 0, V delta R by R delta T. V by R is a constant, limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by r. So here limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by r, it is a velocity. Limiting value of the average velocity is called the velocity at that point. So delta r is the displacement, divided by delta t is the time, right? So delta r by delta t is the average velocity, and the limiting value of the average velocity, limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t is called the velocity v. So we get the centripetal acceleration, right? We get the centripetal acceleration AC is equal to V by R into V, that is the V square by R. So the formula of the centripetal acceleration can be derived like this. So dear student, understand how we can derive the centripetal acceleration. And what is the formula of the centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration, or we can say the radial acceleration. AC is equal to V square divided by R. This formula is important for the example also, right? Now, let us discuss the another point. Derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed and the frequency, right? So first of all, what do you mean by the angular speed? Here the angular speed is defined as the change in the angular displacement divided by time interval, right? So angular speed, right? Suppose we consider that an object is moves from the P to P dash, same as the figure, previous figure, right? Suppose the object is moves from this P to P dash in a time interval delta t, right? So here it covers the angle, the line CP covers the angle delta theta in a time interval delta t. So here the angle covered by the object at a center delta theta is called the angular displacement. So here the angular displacement of the object is a delta theta, and angular displacement divided by time interval, it is called the angular speed. So the angular speed is defined as the time interval or time rate of the change in the angular displacement. So here the angular speed omega, this is the Greek word omega, right? This is the Greek word omega. So angular speed is denoted by the omega, and it is equal to the angular displacement divided by delta t. So we can say that omega is equal to delta theta divided by delta t, right? Now how we can find the delta theta angular displacement? From the formula of the angle, right? Angle is equal to arc divided by radius, right? So angle is equal to arc pp dash divided by the radius r. From that we can find the angular displacement delta theta. So here first we want to find the arc pp dash. So now if the distance traveled by the object during a time interval delta t is the delta s, right? That means the arc pp dash is a delta s. So linear speed is defined as v is equal to delta s by delta t. Now how we can find the delta s arc pp dash or delta theta? Arc pp dash, angle theta is equal to arc pp dash divided by radius r. So from that delta s is equal to radius into the angular displacement delta theta, right? So delta s, that is the arc pp dash, it is equal to radius into the angular displacement delta theta. So from the formula of delta theta is equal to arc delta s divided by delta t, and delta s divided by delta t, v is equal to delta s by delta t. But here from the geometrical of the, by the definition of the angle delta theta, it is equal to arc pp dash delta s by arc pp dash divided by radius r. So from that delta s is equal to delta r into delta theta. So if you put in this formula, linear speed v is equal to r into delta theta by delta t, and it is equal to delta theta by delta t, that is called the angular speed. So that is the relation between the linear speed and the angular speed, right? So that is also important question. Derive the relationship between the linear speed v and the angular speed omega. So here the linear speed v is equal to r radius into the angular speed of the object. So dear student, understand what is the relationship between the linear speed v and the angular speed omega. V is equal to r omega. How we can derive? So here the inner time interval delta t, the distance traveled by the object is equal to rp dash, it is equal to delta s. Now delta s divided by delta t is called the linear speed. So v is equal to delta s by delta t. So here we obtain a v is equal to delta s by delta t. V is the linear speed. So from this definition of the angle, delta theta is equal to arc delta s divided by radius r. Right? So from that, delta s is equal to r delta theta. So v is equal to r delta theta by delta t. But delta theta by delta t is equal to angular speed. So we get the v is equal to r omega. Now from the formula of the centripetal acceleration, centripetal acceleration AC is equal to v square by r is equal to v is equal to r omega. So we get the omega square r square by r. So we get omega square r. So here the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed AC is equal to omega square r. Now how we can find the centripetal acceleration in terms of the frequency? Now consider that time taken by the object to make a one revolution is known as the periodic time. So dear student, what do you mean by the time period? Capital T. Time taken by the object to complete a one revolution is called the periodic time or time period, capital T. And the number of revolution made in a 1 second is called the its a frequency. So number of revolution completed in a 1 second is called the frequency. So we can say that f is equal to 1 by t. So relation between the frequency and the periodic time is the f is equal to 1 divided by capital T. Now consider that if the object moves a one complete revolution, the distance traveled by the object, in a one periodic time is a s is equal to circumference of the circle, right? So s is equal to 2 pi r. We get a s is equal to 2 pi r, and the time taken to complete a one revolution is a capital T. So linear speed of the object v is equal to distance divided by time. So we get a v is equal to distance 2 pi r and time is a one periodic time, capital T. So 1 by t we get a f, right? Frequency f. So we get v is equal to 2 pi r f, right? That is the linear speed of the object in terms of the frequency. Now we know that the centripetal for acceleration AC is equal to v square by r. So v is equal to 2 pi rf. So 4 pi square r square f square divided by r. 1 r is cut out. So we get the centripetal acceleration in terms of the frequency AC is equal to 4 pi square f square into r. So understand, dear student, how we can derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed and in terms of the frequency. So the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed AC is equal to omega square r, and the centripetal acceleration in terms of the frequency is the 4 pi square f square into r, right? So that is the third question. This is very important for the exam, right? First question is the what is the uniform circular motion, and derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration in terms of the linear speed. Centripetal, derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration. Second important question is that derive the relation between the linear speed and the angular speed, right? And third important question is that derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed and the frequency. Now dear student, let us discuss the one example to calculate the centripetal acceleration. Example number 4.10. An insect trapped in a circular groove of a radius 12 centimeter. Right? Here the radius of the circular path is given to you 12 centimeter, moves along the groove steadily and completes the 7 revolution in 100 seconds. So here the insect completes the 7 revolution in 100 seconds. So what will be the time taken to complete a one revolution? Time taken to complete a one revolution, capital T, is equal to 700 divided by 7, right? So here we get a 7 revolution in 100 seconds, right? So one revolution is equal to how many seconds? 7 divided by 100. So from that, what is the angular speed and the linear speed of the motion? Is the acceleration vector or constant vector? What is its magnitude? So we need to find the centripetal acceleration also. So here the capital R is given to you 12 centimeter, right? So how we can find the angular speed? 12 centimeter we convert it into the meter, 0.12 meter, right? So angular speed is defined as omega is equal to 2 pi by capital T. Here 2 pi, value of pi is a 3.14, and capital T divided by capital T, 7 divided by 100, that is a 0.0, 100 second, 100 by 7. If you calculate this, you can get a omega is equal to 0.44 radian per second. Here radian per second is the unit of the angular speed. Remember this. Now how we can derive the linear speed? Linear speed V is equal to omega into R. Omega 0.44 into R 12 centimeter. We get a 5.3 centimeter per second. Now acceleration magnitude of the acceleration is equal to omega square into R. So omega is equal to 0.44 square into R is the 12 centimeter. So we get the acceleration is equal to 2.3 centimeter per second square, and the magnitude of this acceleration is constant, and the direction of the acceleration is a not constant, right? Acceleration is a vector quantity and the acceleration is not constant because the direction of the acceleration continuously changes and it is towards the center of the circular path, right? So dear student, understand this example. So dear student, understand what is the uniform motion and how we can calculate the centripetal acceleration in the uniform motion, right? Thank you very much for watching my video.